Hey everybody, welcome to the HWA Ranch, Hood's Western Adventures. Today I am going to try to make my video on milking our cow. So we'll just introduce real quick here. This here's Myra. She's a Jersey cow. She is our family milk cow. On Myra. What is it, huh? Oh, did you find something up there? So usually the first thing I do with Myra is I'm going to halter her. I already kind of threw her a little bit of hay this morning just to keep her happy. Her and the little stinker back here. We'll get her haltered and get her over here, tie her up where I milk her, and then we'll give her some more hay. And while she stands and we kind of get in things, I'll go over him a little bit here, introduce you to him. But yeah, it's pretty as simple as it gets, I guess. Just get her halter on, and watch, she'll probably make it look like it's not simple, but now she's usually pretty good. You're a good cow. Yes, you are. She's a good cow. She is quite the sweet cow. She she's usually pretty quiet. She stands really good. I do pretty much most of the milking, just because her and I tend to get along pretty well, and I've got the milking down to where it's really no big deal. Most of the time it only takes me 45 to 30 minutes to get it done and have the milk in the house, and then we finish it in there. And then I kind of just made that deal with my wife that I'll milk the cow if she makes me all the goodies with the cream and stuff, so it works out. All right, Myra. All right, I'm gonna grab her a little bit of hay. That'll work. Hey, look at that. Good stuff. I'm a coming, Myra. I'm coming. So all I do with her is I just kind of tie her up short here in the corner. I use the same knot. I can go over that later on. The same knot that we use for tying up horses and stuff. It's just a real simple, quick release knot. So while she's happy with her hay for a minute, we'll talk about my very first ever butcher steer. This is, I guess we're kind of calling him Joe. Other than that, I kind of just refer to him as half and half. But he is my very first butcher steer. So we'll be keeping him for a couple years until he's ready to be sold. And we've thought about, what do you call it, getting a halter on him and trying to tame him up a little bit, but we'll see. He might not be worth it. Right? He's a good boy. He's starting to look pretty nice. Hold on. So another thing that I'm kind of just thought about mentioning was right now we are calf sharing, so he takes most of the milk. If we want anything, we have to make sure that we actually separate them at night, and then I'll come out and milk her in the morning. She's looking pretty full here. But yeah, he's ready to come out and get breakfast here, so we'll get to it and just see what we can do as we go, right? Bud. Before I get too far into getting her cleaned up and ready to milk, is I like to get her a pan of goodies ready. We've got some high-end beef feed here for it's got like cob and a bunch of other stuff in it that brings her protein level up a little, kind of helps her produce the milk, and we just throw in. I don't actually have a bag of alfalfa pellets down here, so she'll just have to do the high end for today. So we'll just go ahead and make up her a pan, and yeah. So then, yeah, I just pretty much, I've got a little bit of both here. I've got some high end in this one, and I want bugs in it, probably frozen bugs. I put a scoop of that in there. I typically have alfalfa pellets down here, and I don't right now, so I think I'll just put some of this calf creep in just to kind of give it a little bit more. And then all I end up doing is just putting a little bit of water in there and let it soak so that it's kind of mushy, and takes a little while to get it out of the bowl and eat it. So So something else that we do is vitamin E. We were reading in a forum somewhere, in a group or something, that adding a little bit of vitamin E to the pan of goodies over here will kind of help take the little bit of, like, I guess you could almost call it like a gamey flavor off of the milk, make it taste a little bit cleaner and a little bit better. So we've always been doing that, and you know, I don't think it hurts her to have a little extra vitamin E. Just giving her 2 or 3. I don't milk every day right now since we're calf sharing. It's kind of nice if I don't want to milk or I can't milk for some reason, I can just let the calf have everything, and makes it a lot easier on me. So something I do is just find a nice dry clean spot, as clean as I can. I'd like to put in a walk plank here for when I'm running the cows to the chute and stuff. That'd be handy, and then also I can have a spot up off the ground to set my stuff, but right now this works. So for me, I've got this half-gallon pail, and I like this just because I can hold it with one hand and milk with the other hand, and I can keep it up close enough to her that I could stay relatively clean with it. Most of the time when I take the milk into the house and filter it, there's very, very little dirt in it, so I like doing it that way. And then it also is nice that when she goes to move for some reason, or if she tries to move her feet, she doesn't end up just kicking the pail over and taking away all my work. So I usually just milk it to about a quarter of a gallon, or quarter gallon, so half of this, and then I'll come over and dump it in the container real quick, and I'll just keep doing that. And right now we're only taking about a gallon, or just a little bit more than a gallon, so you'll see me use this as I milk. And then I've got my 1 gallon milk can here. I would love to get another one of these. Found this just on Amazon, and it has worked really well for us. I enjoy the fact that I can get the milk off of her and then bring it over here and put it in the can and put the lid back on, and it stays clean, especially fall, summer, spring, stuff like that when there's bugs out. It just helps keep the bugs out. Also, wind, sometimes wind will kind of stir up dust and dirt and stuff, and it just keeps things out of the milk as I go. We've also got our big pail. I don't really use it that often, but I like having it down here just in case I do need it. If maybe she does throw a fit for some reason and kicks this out of my hand and it gets all gross and dirty or something, then I've got another pail to continue on and get the job done. And then also I've got my pail of warm soapy water here that I'm going to wash her off with here real quick, so we'll get into that process now. So the very first step we use to start the cleaning process is we've got some teat dip, and it's basically just an iodine solution, and instead of dipping we just spray it on to help kind of kill the bacteria or anything that might be on her, because everybody knows cows are not the cleanest, even though she's not too bad right now. Yep, come on. Yep, there you go. Just give her a good spray. If I can't hear much of this video, I might just dub this over. We'll see. And then while that stuff sits on her for a little bit, I like to just take the brush real quick, because you should leave that on for a few minutes just to make sure that it kind of kills anything that it can. So right now I'm just going to brush her off, get all this hay and dirt and stuff off of her back, especially just so that nothing is falling down into my pail while I'm going. So I'm going to go ahead and just start cleaning her off here. Make sure I got my knees and stuff out of the way so we can see. I use the rag to clean her as well as I can, try to get if not all the dirt, as much as I possibly can get off of her. And then using the wet rag to get all the big stuff, I'll wring it out and then flip it over to the clean side to kind of dry her off, and that seems to work pretty good. Most of the time lately she's been pretty clean, so it really hasn't been too hard to clean her off. And I just like to use a little bit of bag balm to kind of coat her up a little bit. I like to use just a little bit of coconut oil for my hands. Using a spoon, I like to just take a small glob and then rub it into my hands. As I get started, I usually always like to make sure that I discard the first 2 or 3 squirts before I start filling my pail up. The coconut oil also, I think, acts kind of as a disinfectant or an antibacterial, so I think it's good for her and me. It seems to work pretty well. The only thing I don't like about it is it can get a little cold when the wind's blowing or if it's cold outside.
think the calf is smelling his breakfast. I think he gets a little irritated with me sometimes, but he'll be fine. We've also thought about getting a milk machine, but just having one cow, for me, it just doesn't make sense. It's just more to clean and something else to store. So this way, it's simple. I like to keep things simple, and this just works. It's also really good for my strength in my hands. The hardest thing I had when we went through the freshening stage was the fact that I just didn't milk for a while. I lost a lot of that strength in my hands, so getting back into milking was a little bit more difficult than I was expecting. But now that I'm back into it, my hands are getting stronger again, and things just go so much better. I do milk all 4 quarters of her, and right here I'm at about the point of having my gallon, so the rest of it will go to the calf. And don't worry, there's plenty for him still left. It's amazing how well she can actually pull the milk back up or draw it back up and save it for the calf. It's kind of neat how they can do that. Now that I've got my gallon, I'll go ahead and give her her pan of grain here. She really likes her treat at the end of this. It's kind of a reward for her, I think. But while she's eating that, I'm going to go ahead and take this moment to go ahead and get just a little bit more milk, just to make sure I have just a little over a gallon. Whenever her leg is in my way, I gently just ask her to move her leg by tapping on her foot with my boot.
You can also go out in the woods.
Yeah.
I'll probably go out in the woods today.
And I'm back. The other day, my phone ended up dying on me, so I lost my camera and wasn't able to finish filming the rest of the process out here. So I think I'll just make another video to be continued to this one, and I will get into the end of the process, kind of just pick up where I left off. Also, I'll get into the house and we'll go over filtering the milk and the chilling process and all that, getting everything done in there, and just kind of our sanitation standards that we try to uphold. But I think I'll leave that for another video, and right now I'm just out here and I gotta move my bull around. I kind of want to put him on a diet. He's getting pretty big. My cows, I just don't think they're getting quite enough with him in there with them, so I'm just gonna try putting him out for a while and let him be able to move around and stuff. Maybe he'll lose some weight, and then I can kind of control his food. I'm sure he probably won't be very happy with me, but he'll get over it. I think I'm more worried about making sure that my cows have what they need right now, since they're getting pretty far along in their pregnancies. So I'm just going to go ahead and get things moved around here, and we'll see you guys later. Thanks for watching my video, and if you like it, please do subscribe and thumbs up, and if you can, share my channel. I'd really appreciate it. Thanks, everyone. God bless. All right, Mouse. Chub. Yeah, I know. You're a good boy. Let's go over and let you out over here. With my camera dying on me, it made me realize that I didn't actually have the time to put something spiritual in my video. So I was kind of thinking about this, and after reading Isaiah, I ended up reading Daniel also, and it really is just neat, and it really stands out just how much the authors are writing of similar things. It's just amazing how they agree on who God is and what he does in their lives, and it's just,
unique in that way, just because people don't seem to agree like that. They don't always see eye to eye. We always have different opinions and different thoughts, and but it really makes Scripture stand out. Our culture and our world seems to try to teach us that it's not okay to be hurt or offended by things. But I think that's wrong. I think it is actually good to be hurt or offended by stuff. Whenever we are hurt, it kind of makes us realize that something might need to change. It's kind of like getting a physical wound. You know, it makes you realize that you're hurt and that you need to clean and dress the wound and allow it time to heal. So I think that's kind of like how the Bible kind of shows us that it's okay to hurt, because it makes us realize that we need help, that we need to be healed.